I think we need to ask ourselves, what's in it for them? Anytime you come into a scenario where you're trying to understand the motivation behind action or intent, ask yourself, what's in it for them? What is the chief end? See, they cannot be trusted if they're operating outside the intent of glorifying God, the one true God. They just cannot be trusted. This is the Warrior Podcast, episode 136. And we're going to talk about how they cannot be trusted. Now, who am I talking about when it comes to trust? Anybody, anybody, and everybody. But let's kind of pinpoint it here. Let's talk about the systems of the world, the cultures, the governments, the leadership that is put in place by themselves or society or whatever the case may be. See, the problem is that in a modern age where we have this enlightenment, we have this education and knowledge, we start to put our trust in the intellect, understanding, cumulative of man, his motives. See, we think that they're altruistic. We think that they're morally right and they're got the better good in mind. But here's the thing: what's in it for them? See, man is selfish. He is evil at his core, apart from Christ and God's grace. So if he's operating outside that intent, that mission, that directive, you can know that most likely the worship, the lifting up is going to be done of self, of what they feel is right for them and theirs and you. So we got to ask ourselves, can those who do not glorify God be moral? Sure, they can. But what is the motivation behind it? Just to do it? Or does it have some sort of benefit to themselves and theirs behind the whole deal? Of course they do. So, can we risk that? Can we take that chance that hopefully they have our best interest in mind? But ultimately, what is our best interest if it's not to operate how God has designed us? According to his moral code, according to his law, according to his word, his truth, which is the only truth. Anything that stands in opposition to God and his word, his revealed word, is falsehood, is deception, is lies. See, I think we have to see that there's a contrast. When I say church, I'm not talking about the church down the street, 17th Street Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian. I'm talking about the one true church, the bride of Christ. See, the bride of Christ stands in direct opposition to the world system. And they're wanting you to unify with them, the world system, follow their lead. When in reality, we're supposed to unify with the church. That's what happens to us spiritually. We unify behind the church, the bride of Christ, and he is the head. We follow him, his word, his leadings, his promptings as the good shepherd. See, the Antichrist, we're waiting for to be revealed as a person, but the Antichrist too is the spirit of the Antichrist, the thought processes, the motivations, the intents, and they're always to lead us away from God and his glory towards glorifying something else. Let's face it, anything else. That's the motivation. That is the mission, objective, primary of the enemy. So we need to be smart, diligent warriors for God's glory. We can't be swayed and sucked into trusting them and leaning on them. We have to look with them out of the side of our eye, wondering what really is in it for them, waiting at any moment for them to turn on you. Now, you can say that's paranoia, but I think that's just being prepared and cautious and diligent and smart and wise because we know their true motives. Remember, the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can trust it? No one. But apart from Christ, we can do nothing and we are nothing. We need to understand that. Don't lose sight of that. This is the reason why the church was persecuted. This is the reason why they were hated, is because they stood on the truth that Christ is the only way to salvation, the only way to righteousness, the only way to a right relationship with God in truth. He is truth. He is the way. He is the life that we're looking for. And no one can come to the Father except through him, no matter how good or moral or whatever they want to make it out to be. That is salvation, to know the one true God and him whom he sent, Jesus Christ. Everything else is just distraction. All right, guys, as always, you are a warrior designed for glory. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is Christ and his righteousness, his kingdom. All right, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll continue to put it out. God be with you. Stay in the fight.